Hi, so my name is Fabian Vogelsteller. I'm one of the founders of Luxor. I have been basically part of the Ethereum space for a very long time. Actually, I have been a lead developer for the Ethereum Foundation back in 2015. Have built the first Web3 browser. Have built lots of the developer tools we are using. Actually, most popular one is called Web3.js. I have been proposing standards. That's what has been quite important for that matter. I proposed ERC20, which is the token standard behind all tokens. That also then led to NFTs, ERC721. They are all derivatives of ERC20. Basically, created the whole chain that we see today from DeFi to NFT is somehow like rooted into the standard I proposed. And with Luxor, basically, we are building a new blockchain. It's Ethereum 2-like. So it runs smart contracts, it runs Casper FFG, like the proof of stake consensus. But what we are doing really is completely reinventing all the basic standards. We basically throwing away all the bads and like keeping the goods and making it right. Something that's hard to do on Ethereum itself because it's a very crowded space, lots of people, lots of opinion, lots of standards talk. Starting a new network really allows us to get the basic building blocks right, and adding one of the missing building blocks, the standard I already have proposed in 2017 called ERC725. ERC725 literally brings the identity piece to blockchain. And if you have the identity piece, you literally solve all the user problems or UX problems we have with blockchain. So you can literally make people start with weak security and upgrade security. You can actually have them have accounts that have a face. That's extremely important for NFT in general, because if you don't have any verifiability, traceability on chain, not just on websites, marketplace websites, but actually on chain, you can check, hey, this is this profile, this person, this reputation, and so on. This is the basis and the essence that the NFT space needs. And you can actually interact with these new kind of assets, these new tokens, in a new way, in an automated way. So we completely redone how the token standards work under the hood. It's all basically, we call them NFT 2.0. It's literally 3 new types of NFTs that make everything a lot more flexible. So it's going to be epic.
That's super, super exciting stuff. So you've been around since essentially the beginning, and you've seen kind of the evolution of everything. I'd love for you to elaborate on the bad, the current bad, and the current good.
Okay, so there's a lot of current bad. The current bad is really that these smart contract standards that we use under the hood are actually, they're extremely simplistic. So on the one hand, you don't really have any kind of flexibility around NFTs. So the only thing that the smart contract does, it maps an address to an ID. And then there's some JSON file linked to it. There's not even a clear way of where this should sit that you can hash reference and all of this stuff. So it's like all a mess on the meta level, on the metadata level. But it's extremely unflexible in its core of how they work. So that's completely redone now, and it is massively more flexible in that sense. And the identity piece is missing, which prevents really any NFT to have any meaning in 2 years time when the marketplace, super rare, rareable, or one of these things went down. Will you remember that random key X was the blah 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 guy that made this important NFT here? You don't. The only thing you might remember is a collection, like CryptoPunks, a collection, a smart contract that's very known, right? But if you look just into these marketplace NFTs, you can't remember who these people are. So that's also solved with universal profiles and all of these standards that we're bringing out. The good is actually that now, NFTs were already 2016 popular. Now they are massively more popular. So now we have basically all of the creative artists, all of the social media people, influencer, all of the mainstream literally start to pay attention. The old world with all of their brands and digital fashion, all of these things becoming a thing, everybody's moving into the space. So it really brings adoption and interest from a non-financial world. And that's also very interesting and also very important, because if we want to move this to the mainstream, we need everybody who was already here online to also pay attention.
When you think about the positive changes that you want to create with your team, if I say to you NFT 2024, what are you hoping will be developed in the next couple of years?
I mean, first off, I think a lot of this will to be developed on Luxor because it's first the best EVM chain out there once it starts. It's literally Ethereum 2.0 style. Second, like we are doing the basic building blocks right, and this is a complete better basis for what we call the new creative economy. And second, there's just so much possibilities of what NFTs can be. I mean, like we haven't even started like with anything. Right now, what we are selling is gimmick images on the internet that we now register in smart contracts. But NFTs will be so much more. There will be like your membership, your badge. I'm actually most excited about cultural currencies, which is not necessarily NFTs, but tokens that are somehow related to people, projects, or movements. And I think the most impactful tokens and NFTs that we will see in the future are actually earnable NFTs or earnable tokens, cultural currencies, things you don't buy, things that you get because you did something, you've been somewhere and you participated. With those, they will reach values that you cannot measure in money because you can't buy. You can't buy them, right? So that actually will be something that you can't fake. If you haven't been there 3 years ago, right, you just don't have it. So I think I'm very excited about like all of these like, social aspects that will come through these new NFTs.
Well, we're grateful that you jumped in with us. You know, as I mentioned, we like to keep these short to make them very shareable that way. For anybody that's watching us online, thank you for your attention. We're glad that you're tuning in and learning about these amazing projects. This is my co-host for the day, Abraham Gomez. My name is Ian Utilli. I'm one of the co-producers of NFT NYC, and we're excited to have you and your team involved with our event, and I'll see you in New York. Thanks for jumping in all the way from Barcelona. I'm sorry that we missed the sunset this time.
See ya.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.